Hello, my lovelies. Today we're going to be doing a question and answer session because I needed a low effort video for today because last week was a lot of emotional effort in order to get that reaction video up. I have got plans for a second one because I'm a glutton for punishment. People seem to like it. Where I found a bunch of solo jazz videos. So I think all of the dancing in that one was partnered. And in like 2015, I did every single solo jazz comp that ever existed in London. So there is a lot of footage of me in solo jazz comps. When I have the emotional capacity to do that again, that's coming up. So today, question and answer. From my Patreon, we have the fabulous Marcus Kramer, who has asked me, what are the pros and cons or differences between being a local teacher versus an international teacher, and which one do you see yourself? So when it comes to local instruction, generally speaking, you get to spend more time with the student. So you get to see them change over time, you get to see them develop, and because you also spend more time with them, generally speaking, you're more likely to build friendships with them. And once a student becomes your friend, that connection just feels so much stronger. And then there's this element of like, you just want to help them all the time because you like them as a person. So I feel this very much for some of my London students in particular, like the Waterloo crew and the Bethnal Keens. I will always have a special place in my heart for those students. And if they ask me for help, even today, and I haven't taught them in like 2 years, I probably would still help them and give them feedback on stuff just because like I worked with them for like 2 or 3 years. And a lot of them have like grown into amazing dancers themselves or instructors or competitors, and it's so cool for me to see them doing amazing stuff out in the Lindy world. I have such a soft spot for my students who are local students, and I will always have a soft spot for them. When it comes to international instruction, generally speaking, you're going in and doing a workshop, so that feels more like dropping a truth bomb and then walking away from the explosion. So you don't really get to see what happens with the class and how it affected students. You kind of just drop it and then walk away. That's fun for different reasons because you kind of get to do like really intense classes because you get more time in that one space. Like you normally get 2 hours to teach maybe. So you get a little bit more time to play with. And it's quite fun to be able to like go somewhere new and meet new people and experience a new scene. And also there's like a little bit of like glamour involved. Because you are like a guest instructor, you often get to perform or put on a little show with your teaching partner, which is always really fun. I love performing. And that has like upsides and downsides. So it's really fun to get to perform and given the opportunity to perform, which doesn't happen in a local class. However, I don't particularly like being put on a pedestal, and I find that people find me scarier. Like, I understand that a teacher is always going to be slightly intimidating to dance with, but I find that my local students are much more likely to ask me for a dance than if I go to a workshop and I teach there. I'm much more scary, I'm much more intimidating, and I don't like that. I like dancing with people. Hey, we're the same. I'm not so different from you. Please ask me for dances because I like dancing. Yay. I think of myself as a mix. I don't think of myself as one or the other because I still teach local classes, and I always, hopefully, will be teaching local classes, COVID permitting, because I love teaching. I love teaching so much, and to get to see people grow and change is really glorious. And so I also, I never not want to be doing local classes because there's so much joy in that, but also there's so much fun in getting to go somewhere new and meet new people and do both. So for me, would say I'm a little bit of both. I mean, not now, like now I'm only a local teacher because there's no international teaching. And I would deem myself a local teacher now, even though I'm not local to Italy, because I'm teaching the local school classes as opposed to teaching workshop style classes, if that makes sense. What if that makes sense? Jerry Almonte and Andy Robert on Instagram both asked me very similar questions. What are you excited about in the future? And if you could fast forward to a time when the pandemic is over, where do you want to be? The answer to both these questions is I would love to be somewhere where I can see my friends again. I moved to Italy without really knowing anybody, and then we went right into a lockdown, so I don't really have any friends here. So I am ever so slightly lonely and in dire need of a hug. I really would like to be somewhere where I could see people that I love. So Germany would be nice because like Karen and Areski are there, or London would be nice because that's where the Bethnal Keens and the Waterloo crew and the Powerpuffs are. God, everyone in London has a ridiculous nickname. Anyways, so yeah, I would like to be somewhere where I have people I love and I can see them in person and give each other hugs and dance and all that lovely stuff. I gotta go really quickly. My sticky buns are ready to come out the oven. Hold that thought. Quick break to pour some glaze on some cinnamon rolls. Hopefully you enjoyed that cinnamon bun break. Anyways, next question from Andrew or Apache Dance on Instagram. who is also one of my patrons. What is your favorite song to dance to? I don't really have a favorite song or songs because it just depends on the mood and what type of dancing I'm doing. But generally speaking, I love Joe Jones as an artist. I really love his drumming style. I love music with a riff. I love music that has like really strong rhythmical riffs in the background because I find them really easy to catch onto and then use that to inspire my dancing. So I love a repetitive rhythmical riff. I also generally don't like choreographing songs that have lyrics in them because I find myself trying to lean in too hard to the lyric, and I find that a little bit limiting. And so if I'm doing improvisation or if I'm doing a little bit of choreo, I do prefer stuff without lyrics. But not always, that's just sometimes. But yeah, those are some of the things that I look for in a swing song that I want to dance to. Lovely question. Hepcat's Dance Shoes is asking the important questions. Who is my favorite drag queen? Thank you, Hepcat's Dance Shoes. You are the correct people right now. I love you. Also, your shoes look beautiful, by the by. The drag queen whose media I consume the most has to be Trixie Mattel. I watch all of her YouTube videos. I have all of her albums. I watch all of her Instagram stories, all that lovely stuff. I do love me some Trixie Mattel, but I also really love Katya, and I think that goes hand in hand. If you like Trixie, you kind of gotta like Katya, because gives me life. So yes, I think it's gotta be Trixie or Katya. I also have such a soft spot for Bob the Drag Queen and Monet Exchange because I saw them live and they were incredible live. Like Monet's choreographed performance completely destroyed, but Bob was so good at lip syncing any song you throw at him. So yeah, those are like my top queens. But thank you, Hepcat's Dance Shoes. Thank you for asking the correct question. Saint ASAP asks, did you learn something thanks to the quarantine? Yes, I did. I learned how to do calligraphy. Well, not really calligraphy. I don't actually do calligraphy in like the correct technique, but I learned that I really, really love painting words. Like painting painting flowers or buildings is never really been that interesting to me, but I found that through playing with my watercolors again because of lockdown, I found that I really, really like doing text. I can show you some of the things I've done. It's become show and tell, guys. That's what this is. It all started when I rewatched The Good Place again and realized I love The Good Place in so many ways. And I basically just wanted to do like a text study with a bunch of different fonts with a bunch of different quotes from The Good Place. I think my favorite is, but then I remembered I'm a naughty bitch. So this is where it all started, and this is where it's gone now. I quite like doing quotes from Friends. So this is from Colbert. Men are like coffee tables. I can hold my own coffee. Rules for life, don't be a dick and own your own shit. These two are for Benny Vo. We had a video call and then we ended up just coming up with these two sayings. You're gonna have a fucking great day and fuck everything about this year. I learned that I really like doing text-based art, and you can see them all on my new Instagram page, My Bullshit Art. Yep, that's where I'm at in 2020. I've made an Instagram page for my new hobby because that's where I am. Haiming_G asks, how do you swing in turns? Now this is an interesting question that we're gonna stand up. We're gonna flip the camera around and we're gonna go over that way. Welcome to the other side, my friend. Haiming's question, swinging in turns. I would argue that a turn is a rotation where you change weight. And then a spin is where there's no weight change. I think keeping your swing rhythm in a turn where you have just like a little bit of a bounce or whatever rhythm while you're turning, I think that's relatively easy. I'm assuming what this question is asking is how to keep your swing rhythm when you're doing a spin, because a spin can be quite tricky to get rhythm in. Ignore the mic pack, please, thank you. I would say that the easiest way I can think about getting a bit of swing rhythm in your turns, I have two suggestions for you. Suggestion number one is to bounce and to keep your like groovy bouncy guy going. I often do this one. I often do it with like a little bit of a shape, like maybe like this guy. I quite like that. Another way you can get a little bit of a swing rhythm or a little bit of syncopation is to swing your leg, like literally swing it, because then you can get like a little bit of like an acceleration and then deceleration, so like a whoop, bah. Yeah, that is all the questions I have time for today. There were some really ridiculous questions in there about chocolate chip cookies and what is life. Life is terrible, life is pain. The thing that can make life less painful is Sola's date cinnamon sticky buns, which I have out of the oven, cooled down enough, probably ready to be eaten. So I'm gonna go do that now, and I hope you have a fucking great day. because it says so. Do it.
You look amazing. Thank you. You always do. You do too.